So my ex, let's call him John. Me and John, we grew up together. We went to the same church when we were younger. We were family friends. If you're African, and I'm sure all my Africans can attest to this, you know everyone in the African community somehow. Nigerians know all Nigerians, Ghanaians know Ghanaians, you know, stuff like that. Before we actually reconnected, I hadn't seen him in like years. I say at least like 3-4 years. So my mom had forced me to go to this birthday party. And I didn't want to go, but my aunt was going, my cousins were going, so I was like, fine, whatever, I'll go. So I went, and he was there. And like, you know when you haven't seen someone in like a really long time, and you're just like, oh, okay, oh shit, okay, like, time has been good to you. That was basically him. So whatever, we saw each other, and he was sitting at one table and I was sitting here. So we were like across from each other, and like we saw each other. Like for like 20 minutes, we just kept looking back and forth at each other until I was like, you know what, like, you're gonna come talk to me. So I tell my cousin, I'm like, can you go get him and tell him to sit with us, because my cousin's a guy, so it's like, I'm not gonna go walk over and tell someone to come sit with me, like, no. So he comes to our table, and I'm like, hey, like, I didn't know you were here. Like, trying to play it off or whatever, and like, obviously he knew, like, I knew he was there, like, we kept fucking looking at each other, but whatever. So we were talking a little bit, catching up, and then we were all chilling, and then this is when like BlackBerry was popping, so I just got like the new BlackBerry Bold Touch. So yeah, I was a bad bitch. So I got the BlackBerry Bold Touch, and he's like, oh, you got this, like, I want this one so bad. And he took it, and he was like playing with it, and then he sneaks his number in my phone. I was like, I see you, but I ain't gonna delete it, I'm gonna keep it. Oh. I felt so nice, and like we're still like talking and flirting or whatever. My aunt wanted to leave, so it was time for us to go. He was still staying. I was like, okay, like, I'm leaving now, bye. He came to me and he was like, oh, like, text me when you get home. And I was like, okay, like, sure, whatever, you know, trying to play it off as if like I don't care, but you know, obviously I was amped. So whatever, I texted him. Long story short, talked for about 2.5 months, 3 months, and then we officially started dating, and everything was good, you know. Like, he would always like post tweets about me on Twitter and tag me and be like, oh, the best thing that ever happened to me in 2012 was at Cubby Abs. And I was like, like, this guy, like, he really knew how to finesse me. So like, I felt so nice, and like, he just seemed like the perfect guy, you know, at my age, obviously, like 15-year-old. The first year our relationship was good, and like, again, I was so naive, guys. Like, he did things where it's like, now if like my boyfriend did that would be sketchy to me, but I never thought much of it, because I'm the type of person, I'm not going to accuse anyone of cheating or accuse anyone of, you know, infidelity if they don't give me a reason to. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, give me your phone, I want to search through your phone, I want to do this. I'm not going to do that, because I wouldn't want someone accusing me of doing something that I'm not doing. So it's like, if you give me a reason, I'm going to investigate, but if you don't, then I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Here's some of the weird things that he did that like I should have caught on. In the beginning of our relationship, we would always talk on the phone like before we go to bed, and he would always call me before school. And then after a while, like when I would call him at night, he wouldn't even answer. He would ignore my call and then be like, oh, I can't talk. And he'd be like, oh, like, I don't feel like talking on the phone. And I'd just be like, okay, no problem. Like, it wasn't weird to me. There's one time, because he was a basketball player, so there's one time he was at practice, and then he told me he gave this girl his number, and I'm like, why would you give a girl your number? And he's like, oh, she asked for it. And I'm like, okay, like, okay, like, that doesn't mean you give out your number. Like, tell her you have a girlfriend, or give her my number so I can tell him you got a girl, like, you know. No, he gave out her number, and he's like, oh, like, she just wanted to be friends, like, she just asked for my number to be friends. I'm like, who asks for someone's number to be their friend? I'll wait. I was so mad, guys. Like, I was so mad. But you know, like, little stuff like that where it's like, when I look back at it, it was definitely red flags, but like, I never thought of it at the time. Fast forward through our relationship, around 3 years we've been dating. The thing about my family, and myself including, is that we're very Christian, we're very religious, we're very spiritual. We believe in all that stuff. We believe that God connects with us through dreams. He gives us visions to let us know certain things. So my mom came up to me now. She's like, well, I had a dream, and God said that there's a man in your life deceiving you, and I think it's him. And I'm like, why do you think it's him, Mom? Like, it's not him. Like, he treats me good. He does this for me. He loves me. La 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 la. Like, you know, like, defending the fuck out of him. My mom's like, all right, I'm just letting you know what God told me. I'm just the messenger. I brushed it off, didn't think much of it. And then that night, I went to bed, and then I woke up the next morning for school, and I don't know what it was, but something told me to check, to go on his Facebook. I don't have data on my phone, so I'll just wait till she picks me up, and I'll just use her data instead of trying to do it at home, and then I'm rushing to get ready for school. So I just like pushed it off. Got to the car, and I told my girl like basically everything that's been happening, having the urge to go on his Facebook so bad. And so she's like, all right, let's check. He never gave me his Facebook password. So what I did was I tried the Twitter password in his Facebook. Didn't work. So I was like, shit, like, okay, I don't want to ask him for his password, because if there is something, he's obviously going to delete it before he gives it to me. So what I did instead, y'all, I'm so messy. I knew his email, and I used his Twitter password to see if it worked for his Hotmail. Yup, it worked. You know what I did next? Forgets password. I went into Facebook and I clicked forgot password, and then it redirected me to Hotmail, and then I changed his password on his ass, and then I went into his Facebook. Obviously the first thing I did was go into his messages. Girl, there was so many messages from girls, so many nudes, so many dick pics, so many like, oh, like there was just so many girls. And like one of them went to my church. I was like, oh, what you doing? Like, I'm gonna tell pastor on you. Like, you don't understand, guys. Like, there was so many girls he was talking to. I found out so much stuff. I found out he was dating another girl while dating me. I found out that the times where he didn't want to talk on the phone with me wasn't because he was tired. It was because he was having phone sex with other girls. There was screenshots upon screenshots. I was so mad. So I'm like, okay, all right, like, let me just back up for a second. Let me calm down. So I just texted him. I'm like, who is blah, 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 blah. And I literally typed out every single girl that I saw. And he's like, oh, well, they're just my friends. Ha 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 ha. Laughing it off as if I'm crazy. And that's what guys like to do, eh? That's, oh, girl, guys, they like to act like we're the crazy ones. They like to act like that we're thinking stuff, we're seeing stuff, we're like, it's absurd for us to have this type of no, it's not us, it's you. You know, he was laughing it off, making it seem like I was fucking insane. And it's like, oh yeah, they're nobody. All I did was send him all the screenshots. So I just sent him everything, like everything that I saw, basically I sent it to him. First thing he said was, how did you get that? Oh, he showed no sign of remorse. He was just worried about himself, basically. So I was like, yeah, you're worried about yourself? Okay, no problem. So you know what I did next? I changed his Hotmail password. That's what I did. So I changed his Facebook password, I changed his Hotmail password. So he is absolutely locked out of his Facebook. Guys, this is so crazy. You don't ever do this. Like, I went to like above and beyond, but like I was mad. I just wasted 3 years with you, and this is how you gonna do me? He was cheating on me for like half our relationship. It's not even like it just happened. Half our relationship, 1.5 years. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? I don't play with my time. Do not underestimate a scorned woman, because we get petty and we get bitter and we want revenge, okay? So what did I do next? I made a status, and it was a very long, very angry status saying, this is Ebony, John's now ex-girlfriend. We were dating for 3 years. All you girls were talking to him and you didn't know that we were in a relationship. You guys are all this, you guys are all that. It was a very angry status. And I tagged all of them in it, every single girl that I saw in his DMs, and I posted every single nude that was sent to him too. Yeah. I posted every single nude and I tagged them in it. Again, like, I would never do something like that again, because it's not their fault. They didn't know. And I find that that's what a lot of girls do these days. They attack the side chick. And the thing is that most of the time the side chick don't even know she's the side chick. So it's like, why are you attacking her? She has nothing to do with this. And then they'll take the guy back. And it's like, no, don't do that. Never ever attack the side chick, especially if she doesn't know. Now, it's different now if she's well aware of the relationship and she's still trying to split you guys up. Then she can catch these hands. But you know what? I won't even fight her, because you know what? I'll be damned if I break my acrylics on any girl who's getting the attention that I should be getting from my man. You can have him. By all means, he's yours.